Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Every day there are countless books and articles that are published offering the key on how to make your business a success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up and run your business. That's why Deb Creer created the Business Power Hour. Keep up on the latest trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. Let the Business Power Hour do the heavy work for you.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Deb Creer, and I am passionate about giving professionals the tools that they need to make themselves and their businesses as successful as possible. And I am so looking forward to my guest today. We're going to have such a great discussion about something that y'all might not be very familiar with, which is going to be even more fun. So please join me in welcoming Kelley Thornton to our program today. Welcome, Kelley. How are you?
I'm awesome, Deb. Nice to meet you and get a chance to chat with you. Very excited to be here.
I love it. Well, let me tell folks a little bit about you, and then we will jump into this. So Kelley Thornton was born in Towson, Maryland. He moved to Connecticut for high school, started a painting business, and graduated with a degree in economics from the University of Connecticut in 1990, debt-free. He began his career in sales in New York City and transferred to Chicago a few years later. After a successful 19-year career in the throes of corporate America, he left to begin his second company, Point LLC, an in-store design and strategy company with offices in the US, London, and Taiwan. Through his experience at Purchase Point, he was inspired by the rapidly growing men's care industry. He founded his third company, Tiege Hanley, Inc., in 2016. Tiege is an e-commerce company with the mission of helping men look and feel amazing. With the help of Aaron Marino, a YouTuber with over 6 million followers, and Rob Hoxie, the business has evolved organically with over 500,000 customers globally and over 100 million in lifetime sales. So again, Kelley, welcome.
Thank you, Deb. What a nice introduction.
Oh my gosh, it leads to so many questions. So tell us a little bit more about how it is that you got to where you are today.
Yeah. Well, I'm an entrepreneur, as you just mentioned in your intro. I'm on my third company, but I took almost 20 years, 19 years of corporate experience in between. So, and I'm also at a later point in my career. So I'm not quite at where I want to be to retire, but I'm in my mid 50s, mid to late 50s. And so, a lot of us entrepreneurs, they say it's a younger man's or younger person's game, right? But I'm late in my career and still grinding every day. And in a very competitive, the skincare space is very competitive, and the e-commerce space is very competitive, and it's very, very challenging and demanding and constantly changing. So I'm in a very innovative space. Also, building brands is a very, very time consuming, very challenging thing. So I'm a brand builder as well. As you were mentioning earlier, you're a marketer. So that's my journey started in Towson, and I ended up starting a painting company. And that's where I think my entrepreneurial kind of bug came from.
I love it. Well, so I do have samples of your product. It's so fun. And they are for men. So my husband just thought this was the greatest thing in the world. But the packaging is very cool. For those of you who are listening, you're missing out, because it's very cool. But the skincare industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but mainly for women. Wrinkles, heavens, we don't want things like that. And so what made you think I can be successful helping men?
Yeah, well, my second company, Purchase Point, we were studying the way men were shopping around the world. And we were helping big CPG companies like the Unilevers and Procter and Gamble's and so forth and so on, really try to understand how to communicate to a male customer at a retail. So when they're in the retail store, how do you communicate with them?
Right.
And they took me around the world to really look at not only male shoppers, but the different channels and the different ways, like channels meaning, a hyperstore like Walmart or
Okay.
grocery store
Or
versus,
online.
or online.
Okay.
And I was very frustrated after years of helping them think about this, that I came to the epiphany that, drum roll please, men don't really like to shop.
Right.
So, getting them into store
Mm-hmm.
is half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to, get them engaged in skincare.
They're just going to grab whatever's on the end, right?
Yeah, we're gorillas like us men. We're very fundamental in nature. So, and then it was booming, like 300, triple digit growth, 120% in Asia and Southeast Asia, in the 20s to 30% in Europe and Eastern Europe. And South America, just sub 20% growth year over year. And in the US, it was 8 to 10. And I thought, my gosh, it's got to come to US. I mean, men are going to have to, at some point, engage. At the same time, there was this massive shift in 2000 towards the awareness of self-care. You and I have had a chance to talk about self-care and how you've been very concerned about your personal self-care. And so I think this somewhat started around the time the country started talking about Obamacare and universal health care. And these type of subjects really brought all of this forward to, people thinking about and trying to take more responsibility for their personal care and for their personal health. And then we're that tent is very broad. We play a very, very small part of it, which is men talking to other men, our customers, about why it's important to take care of your skin. And why it's important to have healthy routines in your life. Right. So that is how it all came about. We really felt like there was an opportunity to get guys, meet them digitally on their phones or on their computers. Make it easy and talk to them about skincare and about generally why it's important to be a healthy male today.
Right. And looking at your product line, it's very simple. And I think that's one of the things that, men and women, when I look at some of these things and it's like, well, you have to do this and you have to do this and you have to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm one of those, I keep my hair short because it's easy.
Yeah.
My regime in the morning is let's see how fast we can get it done.
There you go.
And, and I think that's one of the things that is such a benefit to what you have is it is simple and easy. It's just you do a little of this and a little of that and you're good to go.
It's actually uncomplicated. And our tagline is uncomplicated skincare for men. And it's for the reasons you just stated, Deb, is that we really just want, I think, one could debate that men have, PTSD with like taking a lot of time to take care of themselves to get out of the house. It's not manly. And we just have this like thought, like, why do we need to spend a half hour in the morning getting ourselves ready? It's just a waste of time. So anyway, so we just really make it very simple. And we have a very simple product line. We sell systems. We're a routine company. So you either start kind of at the basics, or if you have a little sophistication in your routine, you kind of go into our anti-aging, our advanced routine, or you can go to our anti-aging routine. And basically that's it. You just start there and you figure out what you like and what you don't like. And then you can, depending on what products you like the best, you can remove those from your system and add other products. And we make it uncomplicated.
Right. And I mentioned that you'd sent me one of the starter kits, I guess it would be. And there's this nice little card in here, how to use your Tiege Hanley skincare system. And so it says, this is what you do in the morning. This is what you do at night. Now, here's what I love about this: usage amounts, because it always, no matter what we're using, it will say, do a nickel, do a dime, do one pump. I mean, all those, and we're like, how much is that? So
Yeah.
you either don't use enough or you get a handful of stuff, right? And
Right.
so you actually show on here how much a pea
Yeah.
size would be, right? And I love that because it is, anytime I look at these things, I'm like, how much are they really meaning for me to use?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like you said, it's simple. You
We
look at
make
it, you
it
go,
guy
okay.
proof.
Mhm.
We're making it
Yeah.
guy proof.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Now, and I love the packaging. Clearly,
Thank
it
you.
is very masculine. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is in black with
Yeah.
this rich shade of green as a highlight.
Yep.
And I'm sure that helps with sales also. I mean, because guys are thinking, well, I'm not buying something that's pink.
Yeah. Well, we're an, unapologetically male brand.
Right.
And, that does not mean, we don't care about women's skin or whatever.
Right.
We're just focusing on the male consumer. And by the way, there's a couple important reasons for that. One is that male skin does tend to be a little different from women's skin. We produce more sebum. We have oily, so our face tends to be oilier. And so we do a few things in most of our products that are more specific to male skin. But we also are men trying to talk to other men about why it's important. And I think a lot of women might be able to relate to this. I mean, there's a lot of men that have been in charge of, beauty firms around the world, and we don't speak women in our communication. And again, that's not meant to be, a knock in any way, shape, or form. We're just talking, our communication, our marketing communication, and the way that we do business is very much about how a guy talking to a guy about taking care of himself. And we found that works really well for us. A man that is interested or engaged in the smallest amount in our category is more likely to communicate with us like man to man.
Right.
So that's where we are. And then we're also, there's a lot of companies out there that are unisex companies. As a matter of fact, Kiehl's is a phenomenal skincare brand, which probably you and everybody in America knows. Phenomenal skincare brand. I mean, I think they make incredibly great products, and they're a unisex brand, and that's okay. That's fine. But we're just not like that. Maybe it's some year we will be, but we're not like that. And then we kind of shoot down the middle of America. We're not, we're not like military grade. And, we're not like, you're not sure if we're masculine or not. So that's us. We're just like talking to guys about men's health and skincare and talking to guys like the way we are capable of communicating.
You speak the same language.
That's right. Thank you. Boy, you said that so much more simply and uncomplicated than I did.
Well, I love this because I am a marketing person in heart and by training. And we always ask people, who is your target market?
Yeah.
And invariably they will say everyone. Well, no, there's, and you have fine-tuned it so much. And so many people would go, yeah, but we're leaving out X.
Right.
But X is probably not going to buy your product anyway. I mean, like one might think that a woman would buy this for her man, her son, her brother, whatever. No, that's great if they do, but that's not who you're speaking to.
Yeah, you're spot on. People come and say this to us all the time. You should be selling to women. It's not, it's not that. It's a great concept, right? We actually call it enabler marketing here, because it's not just, it's not just a girlfriend or a wife. It's a girlfriend or a daughter or a sister. But the problem here is that guys, are not going to engage in the category just because someone gives them something.
Right.
They really have to like kind of do a little digging for themselves and say, yeah, I kind of like, I think this could help me. So, and the other thing is we have no authority talking to a woman. We have no credibility. So I don't even, we do have a lot of women that buy our acne products for their sons.
For their sons.
We have a lot of that. We have a ton of that. And we do have a very, very strong gifting game. So we do make very specific for men,
Mhm.
for an enabler to give to
Mhm.
their man at the holidays.
Mhm.
And that's a good strategy, but
Right.
really getting them to engage
Mhm.
with us is, takes a lot of work.
Right. Well, and I've shared this before, on the program about finding your market. I was at a networking thing, and everybody goes around, and what is your product and who are you trying to
Yeah,
reach? And
sure.
this lovely woman sold skincare products. And and she said, my audience is, my target market is everyone, because everybody has skin, right?
Skin,
That kind of
right.
makes sense. But we all went, okay, none of us could refer to her, which is really stupid because everybody has skin. But we worked with her and got her to fine tune that. And so what she presented the next time was she sells skincare products for teenage boys who have acne. And every single person in that room went, I know somebody. you know,
Right.
and so, when she fine tuned it, then we could do now, obviously it was a skincare product that would work on older people who had acne or
Yeah,
girls who
sure.
had acne.
Sure.
And then, she had other things that she sold. But when you got it down to that exact avatar in marketing speak
Yep.
to sell to, then we knew who to refer her to. And I think that's what so many people miss the boat on, is they are trying to sell too broadly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and we could take this just a hair bit further
Mm-hmm.
and say, if we're going down this marketing channel, marketing thought, frame of mind, that I think we need to be, we position ourselves in a way that other people aren't talking about their product.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also need to be clear about who we're fighting
Mm-hmm.
against. And I think for us, we don't, it's kind of an internal struggle amongst our guys. We don't want our guys to be average.
Right.
We want our guys to be the best they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the best at whatever they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a father or husband.
Mm-hmm.
We want them to be the best possible. So I think the argument that we're making to men is it's your responsibility to take care of
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Right.
And you are the one
Mm-hmm.
that needs to work harder to not be average.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to help you.
I love that. And your marketing is, as we said, very specific to that.
Yes.
And again, are you leaving people out? Sure, but they probably were not going to buy from you. So why try and reach them anyway?
Yeah, there are companies that are focusing on other niches within the
Mm-hmm.
men's skincare
Mm-hmm.
space, and I think that's great. The more people that are out there
Mm-hmm.
talking about it brings more people
Mm-hmm.
into the decision
Right.
set
Mm-hmm.
to consider our products.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very focused on who we're selling to.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, that's great, because you've obviously done very well with it. That's the thing, is, it's a great example of how, when you focus, you
Yeah.
get the results.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the other things that we see so many people have issues with, is they trying to have products to serve everybody. And
Yeah.
so then they get themselves so splintered with all of their offerings that then they, again, are selling to no one.
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about here, right, is another very critical business concept, which is keeping focus in what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. And it's a common mistake for all entrepreneurs to not have the proper guardrails in place and allow you to lose focus on
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. See this all the time,
Mm-hmm.
hear this, read about it all the time. And I myself, especially early on in this business, Tiege Hanley, I was way too far off the track.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to get things, back focused.
Mm-hmm.
But having a laser beam focused on things
Mm-hmm.
is really critical.
Right. And staying on that, this is not the bright, shiny object thing. That's where we've seen other people have issues too, or other companies, they've got this great product line, and then it's, well, what if we add this?
Hmm.
Now, if you're somebody the size of Amazon, you can do that, or Walmart or whatever. But you are a very focused business, and it wouldn't make sense for you to say sell tennis shoes.
Well, even you wouldn't believe it, but as soon as we get too far away from skincare, for instance, we have a very strong skin cleansing business, which is bar soaps and body wash. Okay. But, as soon as you get and it's all skin and it's all, but cleansing is different from skincare.
Right.
And as soon as you get into other areas like skin cleansing, surprisingly, you get out of your lane. You really do. You get out of something that, is very specific, like face care, skincare.
Right.
And you go into a much more of a commodity business, and then you're really competing head on with Old Spice and Dove for Men, et cetera, and Suave and everything else. So, stay in your lane. Even if it doesn't seem to be that far away from the guardrails, stay in your lane.
Well, and when you deviate, you confuse the customer. If I were to go to your website and see something totally different, my first thought might be I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And so it's just pick what your focus is and stay there. It will pay off.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I made those mistakes the hard way.
I know. And yeah, we learn from those, right?
Yeah. Having $500,000 worth of inventory you can't sell.
Yikes.
That kind of stuff, right?
Yikes. And you can donate, but that's a chunk to eat.
Yeah. Yep. We're still selling through product that, for years that really we overshot.
Right.
Thank goodness we've righted the ship on some of those issues.
Well, and it is important to go, oops, no. I'm here in Atlanta and I remember New Coke.
Yes. There you go. Perfect example.
And I mean, that was one of those things because, of course, the first thought was, but we like the old Coke. I mean, I think that was probably one of the biggest things. And to me, it tasted very much like their competitor that starts with P.
Yeah.
And so they went from Coke to tasting like Pepsi. So if I'm going to, I might as well just buy Pepsi. Right.
Yeah.
And so they, and then they went back to classic Coke. I love that.
Right.
And then, then they finally went, okay, this is just stupid. And I don't know what happened to New Coke. It's gone.
Who came up with that idea?
I know.
Nobody in business would ever say that would be a good idea.
And especially because they had the market. I mean, it wasn't that they were thinking we have got to do something because we're losing market share. No, they had the market. I mean, and even when they've done things like add their water products and other flavors. And yes, I've been to the Coke Museum. And so I know that in other countries, they sell totally different products because they're appealing to that culture. Right. But yeah, to take an extremely successful product and go, we're not going to do that anymore. I mean, I'm guessing somebody didn't have a job after a while.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly innovating. We haven't touched our formulation in like 7 years, and we've been working the last 2 years on improving formulation. And there's all kinds of reasons why, we're doing it. Right. Technology's basically changed. So we want to make sure that our products are using the most cutting edge technology and delivering the ingredients that we think are so important. So, but then it becomes like, what you can manufacture in small batch in early days, isn't scalable and ends up being unstable when you get into, having 500,000 customers, which we do today. So we're always looking to improve, but we never, ever skimp on quality, ever.
Right.
Ever and ever. Leonard Lauder said we could sell any product at least once here at Estee Lauder, but to sell a product more than once, you have to have outstanding product. Right. So change product, I think, make changes when it really, really makes sense, but be very careful. We actually test. So we have one of our two flagship products. I'm not going to say which one. There is a formulation update to it. And we've produced hundreds of thousands of them. They're in the warehouse. We're not shipping them right now, but we've been testing them through the entire process. We've been testing them with our customers to make sure that they're very happy with this, and they're not going to come back and say, I want the old stuff.
Right.
So,
right. Well, and of course, what they do is they don't tell you we don't want it. They go online. It's funny, because I was looking at your website today. When I went to Facebook, look what ads popped up.
Oh yeah.
And so, but that's where people are going to say, we love this, we hate this.
Oh, I know.
And sometimes they didn't even buy the product. I mean, that's always the fun thing.
Yeah,
but
it's amazing.
Yeah,
what
you
people
have
say.
And the funny thing now, I like it when they say we love it, but they're very vocal when they don't like it, and it can be something as simple as the cap broke, or it smelled funny, or my face broke out. I mean, and which could be totally unrelated, and maybe they dropped the thing on the floor and stepped on it, so it broke. I mean, but you never hear any of that.
They actually, I will very slightly challenge you on that. We get 1,000 tickets into our customer experience team, which actually is sitting right in front of me. We get 1,000 tickets a day. So a lot of those tickets are, very mechanical things, like I was charged $44 and I thought I was going to be charged like $34, or I was charged $50, whatever, or I didn't get something that I thought I was going to get. But we actually get like pretty much every day. I mean, we get, like you just described, many of comments that are like problematic that we're solving. Every day we get comments from our guys saying how great how much they loved our product. It's amazing. People will call us. We're easy to find. So we're a subscription company. Not all of our customers buy on subscription. You can buy any of our products non-subscription, but our customers will call us up and like leave these incredibly long voicemail messages about how their barber's noticing something different, and their children are noticing something different, how simple things are. It's really amazing. But we use this customer feedback, and we make updates to our product based on customer feedback. Lots of little things like there's not enough product in our tube. Okay, we get 1,000 people saying you don't have enough product in your 2.5 ounce tube. You need to make it bigger. Then we make it a 3 ounce tube.
Right.
So stuff
not
like
a
that.
big.
Yeah. So customer feedback goes. We actually consider ourselves a pain in the ass free subscription company, or that's in probably better English, which
I get it. I understood what you meant.
We call ourselves a modern subscription company.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and of course, word of mouth is the best advertising there is.
Yeah.
And, and again, I'm looking at your website and it says uncomplicated skincare for men. We get you. We are you.
Yeah.
And,
that's it.
and so when I see something on Facebook where someone says, this is great, or this is horrible, doesn't matter if I know them, I don't care. I will believe them over the Super Bowl ad, or something like that, because they're a real person. And, so that's where social is so beneficial, because, when people like it and they go and they post, you need to order this, this is great stuff, did this and this, my girlfriend raves, all of those various things, they are total strangers, but people will go, oh, okay, I'll buy that, because again, we get you, we are you.
Yeah. I mean, man, our reviews are our most powerful selling tool. And I don't know, I haven't looked in a little while, but I'm sure there's like over 8,000 reviews. They're verified reviews. We do not curate those reviews.
Right. Yeah, because bad reviews are in many cases just as good.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, we accept all the reviews. We have a very, very small window of time to respond to the person, but we can't change their review.
No.
So we can
because
respond
it has to be unbiased, or it's not a review.
Correct. So we sometimes if something crazy happens and they didn't realize it, like the package was actually on the back porch, not the front porch. So, don't give us 2 stars because you didn't look on your back porch. They'll go back and like change it and like say, yeah, you know what, made a mistake, found the package on the back porch.
Right.
But most of the time, of those reviews, and I think we're like 4.9 out of 5-star reviews, and all of our Amazon products, except for maybe one, are over 4.5 stars. And Amazon's the toughest, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think as consumers, we all know this. Like the Amazon reviews are really the most accurate, although there is a lot of we know people are our competitors go on there and like will try to trash our product reviews. It's pretty crazy.
Which is kind of a warfare. Compliment.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, but the amount of warfare that goes on over reviews is beyond me.
Right. And there is enough for everybody. I mean, that's the thing. Now, do we always want more? Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. So, you mentioned that part of your team is there, in the room with you. Are you mainly a remote company or do you have a physical location?
We are a hybrid.
Okay.
So we're a 3-2 hybrid, meaning that we're 3 days. Everybody is required to be in the office for 3 days. Our office is in Chicago, Illinois, downtown by the United Center where the Bulls play. They're required to be in the office 3 days a week. They have a choice of whether or not they want to be in office the other 2 days. Almost everybody is out 2 days a week. So work from home 2 days a week and in the office 2 days a week. We were pretty much through COVID. I mean, not in the early days, but when people started thinking about coming back in office in 21, we were back in office pretty quickly. And we had a hybrid schedule. And of course, then people would get sick and we would go out of office again, but we would come right back like a couple weeks later. So we are pretty firm on, and I think, in today's modern, business culture, having people in office is critical, but having some sort of flexible solution is really important to today's younger workers.
Right. But, it is, I think it is so important. Now, I work from home. I've worked from home for over 20 years.
Yes.
My husband works for a large company.
Yes.
And they told him a couple of years ago, 100% remote. We're not having you come back. He came with his box. I'm like, you still have a job, right? But we have all seen the studies now where it is, people still work together better when they are truly face to face. Now, Correct. It's great to have a hybrid. And obviously one of the cool things is you can have workers around the world.
Right.
But, there's just something about being able to talk to somebody at the coffee machine and a coffee maker and say, hey, did you watch the Super Bowl?
Right.
Or, all of these various things. So is that what you have found, that is you just get better work when people are in the office?
Yeah. I mean, so as we've been discussing, we're a brand. And I think, there's a lot of creativity involved in having a brand.
Right.
And then you have, inevitably you have a workforce that, for us, because we're in digital marketing, tends to be younger in their career than
Right.
older in their career. And because most of the really savvy digital marketers are very active on digital platforms. Not that, I'm not in my 50s, but it's just, I don't understand all of the technical aspects of the digital marketplaces like they do. So these people need a lot more mentoring.
Right.
They need a lot more collaboration. There's just, as you were describing earlier, there's just a lack of collaboration when you're just talking to somebody over Zoom. I mean, it just, and then the mentorship part
Right.
of it starts to go away because you have this out of sight, out of mind type of mentality, and it's not helpful for people that are 0 to 10 years in their career to be not with other people.
Right.
So the studies are showing, as you mentioned earlier, that people that are working remotely just are not getting promoted as quickly.
Because it is out of sight, out of mind.
Absolutely. They're falling back and falling behind other people that are in office. And then as described, and I'm very interested to know, did your husband, is his company change their opinion on this?
No, they're still 100% remote.
They're still 100%
now,
remote.
some departments have gone back in.
Yes.
But yeah, he is home 100% home based. He's gone in, like he went in for their holiday get together.
Yeah.
And he was like, ugh. And I said, you go in, you need to remind them that you exist.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if there are times where we don't have internet, he goes in, because he can't just go to Starbucks and work with what he does. He has to have a secure environment. But yeah, I mean, he is 100% work from home.
Yeah, no. So what's interesting about that, I had a distributed company for 10 years as well, but we did have physical offices in London and Taiwan. But it depends on what type of work you do. If you're in the services business, or you're consultant, or you're, again, and I don't mean this any way other than pure experience. You're older in your career. You don't need a lot of hand holding.
Right.
You don't need, there's a lot of things that you don't need. And so working remotely, makes sense. Right. I think that makes sense. But the younger generation, and by the way, they're the ones that are most apt to say, I want to go live in, it's lifestyle.
Right.
I want to go live in Colorado.
To the beach.
I want to go to the beach. I want to live in the Cape. I want to live in Miami. And all these, people through COVID, their lifestyles totally changed. They don't want to put anything else on other than sweatpants. They don't want to go.
That's me.
They don't want to fix their hair. They don't want to do anything. And it's been hurting. It's been hurting, this generation. And now there is, according to what I'm reading and what you're reading, there's a struggle going on amongst CEOs in America. I have friends that work for Goldman Sachs, and the president of Goldman Sachs came in and was like explicit and said, you're coming into the office or you're finding another job. So there's been a lot of that going on where there's a power struggle right now. And unfortunately, I think like the tables have turned on the employees. I think during those boom years, 5 or 6 years ago, when unemployment was like down to below natural unemployment rate, the employee had all the power, and then COVID hit, and they're like, well, I'm going to Colorado. But now the CEOs are telling their employees to get their asses back into office. So, yeah.
And I think it is a lot of that extra little interactions that people have, and just being able to walk into somebody's office and say, hey, what do you think about this? All of those various things, like I said, I am a marketing person, and it's all about building relationships. And talking on Zoom is great. I mean, we're 1,000 miles apart, maybe not quite that far, maybe 800. And so that's fabulous. And I interview people around the world. Couldn't do that without this technology. But if I could be in the same room with them, that would be so much better. And part of that is because we pick up on body language.
That's right.
And, we've all been on Zoom calls where, there've been, whether it's the Brady Bunch where you've got 9 or whatever, and, or a whole bunch of people, or just a handful, the person who turns their camera off.
Yes.
And it's like, why? What's going on? Are they even there?
Yes.
I was on a Zoom last night, and there were 6 of us. It was the end of a long day, and I was tired, and I knew I was not going to be my normal little perky self. And so I turned my camera off, but I made sure that they knew I was still there.
Yes.
And I've been on things where they have said, if you turn your camera off, we're dumping you off the call.
Yeah. I just posted both 2 topics that we're talking about right now. I post on LinkedIn on Wednesdays video, and I just do it because I'm trying to help people and share thought. I posted this past week. I posted a few weeks ago. Let me talk about that first. I posted about 3 or 4, maybe it was 6 weeks ago. turn your camera on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, turn your camera on. And there's plenty of reasons why you should be able to turn your camera off during a call.
Right.
But oh my gosh, have your camera on,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
call.
Yeah.
If you're the one that's communicating, you
Mm-hmm.
should have your camera on.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And and it's fine. It's absolutely fine to get up or to be standing and
Mm-hmm.
and you want to turn your camera
Mm-hmm.
off. Maybe a sweater top and sweatpants on the bottom, and
Mm-hmm.
that all makes sense. But you got to have your camera on.
Mm-hmm.
This body language, the lack of body
Mm-hmm.
language, when you're sitting in a conference room, the amount of body language that's going on in a
Right.
conference room,
Mm-hmm.
and who's talking and who's listening and
Mm-hmm.
who's absorbing that information, and then who's following on with a follow-up conversation, who's leaning into the conference table, who's backed
Mm-hmm.
away from the conference table,
Mm-hmm.
which tells you right away that they feel very
Right.
uncomfortable about
Yeah.
the subject.
Have they crossed their arms
Right.
and are,
Yeah.
curmudgeon?
Critical. I
Mhm.
mean, critical. I walked out of 100 conferences, and I've walked up to someone and said, you really looked uncomfortable in that meeting. What was going on. We also here and this, my next topic was about our culture and what we do for culture. And the video that I posted this week, actually today is Valentine's Day. I know we're going to be released next week, but I posted on, having dogs in the office and our dog culture and what that really means to our employees.
I love
and
it.
how that actually helps our office environment and the mood, and, kind of reduces stress. It reduces stress. So all of these things are really critical to having successful in office, and the reasons why you should have an in-office work staff,
Right.
or at least a hybrid.
But then you have the tricky thing with, in many cases, people are more productive when
Yes.
they're working from home.
That's right.
And because they don't have those interruptions,
That's
they
right.
can pick the time, obviously it depends on what they're doing, that they can work. If they're a night owl, they might get as much done between, say, 11 and 2 in the morning as somebody else does working 8 hours during the day. I mean,
Yes.
all these things. So it's tricky. And like we said, we like it. We
Yes.
like to be able to work from the beach, from the ski slope, from, all sorts of different places like that. And so I really do like the concept of a hybrid, but holy schmoly, those are hard to manage.
Yeah. We've been at it for a while, and it's working very well for us. What I say all the time to everybody in the team, and when I say all the time, I mean pretty much in at least one meeting per week, is with great flexibility comes great accountability. And if you want to be in a work environment like ours, that's at least for us a hybrid, as opposed to full-time or 4 times so that week, and you're going to be at home working, we just didn't, we expect that all the work that you're doing, you're going to see through
it be done.
fruition. It be done.
Right.
And I agree with you. It doesn't matter. And we're very flexible in this. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of people that are doing work in the evening. They would prefer, if we don't have a meeting after 3, they prefer to spend some time with their children. They might be picking up their children from school. And
so then when they go to bed, they're going to go back to work.
Yeah. And that happens all the time. And that is one of the great, things about working from home. And as you described, which is 100% accurate, is that studies are showing that people are more productive when they're working from home.
Right.
So this type of flexibility really gives people a chance to have, entrepreneurs I don't think we should be talking about work-life balance, because
there's no such thing. There never has been, because to me, balance is 50-50, right? And that doesn't work.
Correct. It's kind of a flawed concept. But we do want people to be happy and get and feel good about themselves and have productive family lives. So it's important that they can get home and be flexible. And then also, by the way, at our company with our 3-2 hybrid, people decide when they want to come to work.
Right.
Right. So if for some reason, it makes most sense for them to carpool on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are the days they're not in the office or something like that. So we offer a lot of flexibility
Right.
with great accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. If you get the work done, that's, doesn't
There you
matter
go.
really what's going on as long as you get the work done.
Yep. And you're available.
Mm-hmm.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of people that take calls, and the greatest thing is my team is very transparent about things. It's wonderful. Wonderful. I just want to let you know, I'm in the car, I'm picking up Sally. I'm listening and everything's good. I'm going to, in 5 minutes, I'm going to drop for just a second and I'll be back on the call. Phenomenal.
Right.
At least we know what's going on here. Like there's nothing being hidden,
Right. And
Kevin's
we're
out getting
used to that
Sally.
now. We're like, okay, well, we know it's Tuesday. Therefore, Kelly's picking up his child at,
Exactly. Exactly. So, so I think the power struggle is going to continue, Deb, between businesses and corporations and CEOs and employees, but the table is definitely turned. And, I think people are going to be dragged back in the office. And if you don't get back in the office, again, I'm painting with a very broad brush. As I said, there's some people that really do well at home and should be at home, but if you don't get back in the office, you're going to miss out on opportunities, and you're going to miss out on the opportunities for promotions and being selected to be, opening our new office in, downtown London or wherever you love to go to. So,
it really is all about the flexibility. And of course, the nice thing about that is if something happens again, then people can, okay, we're home for a week. Because I think that was the hardest part about COVID was people were in the office on Friday and home on Monday. I mean, and so many did not have any way to prepare for it. So, they didn't have the right equipment. I talked to somebody like in May of 2020 and she still didn't have a desk. I mean, and just things like that. And so, now we're kind of prepared for that. Now, the downside is often the bosses think you can work 24/7, and I've had to deal with that, ever since I launched my company. And so my big thing, and I tell people this, is you set the rules and the boundaries. I tell my clients, I work from this period to this period. I am more than happy to work evenings, weekends, and holidays, but it will cost you twice as much. And they almost always go, oh, okay, I can wait.
There's this perception that just because you're at home, you're available all the time. And it shouldn't be like that. There needs to be boundaries. And it sounds like you have figured out how to set them.
It's hard because, if my email pings at 9:00 at night, I'm just as likely to respond as to not. And so, but I do tell them if it's after 9, do not expect a response. But I also say now, I'm also going to be napping or, things like that. But it's, we're all just still kind of learning this process. And I think it's interesting.
I try to be super mindful of everybody's, personal time. I mean, I really do. I try to be super mindful, even like my lead team. Unless it's a really important topic, I will set all my emails up to deliver at 9 a.m. Tomorrow, or all the stuff that I work on the weekends. I usually set up, for my managers, I set them up for Friday night at 5:00. Sunday night. It's Sunday night at 5:00. Everybody else I set up for Monday. I know the managers are looking at their week and
they're planning, and so they might need that.
So, but right now I think it's great. What I hope that a lot more companies can go to hybrid models and people can figure out. And by the way, we haven't talked about this, but a lot of my staff is traveling, so they are they're off. We have a national holiday on Monday, the 19th. And
my birthday, isn't that nice? My birthday is a national
19th.
Holiday.
Yes. I mean, you're so lucky. But people will probably go away for 4-day weekends. They'll work Friday, and it's awesome.
And now I do think that the micromanagers of the world, their little heads exploded a long time ago. Because it was, and every once in a while we still hear about, they're counting keystrokes,
Yeah.
Or, and so then it's like, okay, yeah, I put my keyboard down in front of my 2-year-old,
Yeah. Yeah.
but, it comes down to trusting and
Yes.
respecting our employees.
Yes.
And, I had one person say, how do I know they're getting the work done? And I said, well, does the work get done? I mean, yeah, that was kind of the obvious, but I said, did you trust them when they were in the office?
Yes.
And if they said no, which sometimes they would say no, I would say, then you have a different problem. If you're not trusting them when they're under your thumb, then you probably cannot trust them when they're on their own.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's that one bad apple syndrome as well,
Right.
is because how many, that's another thing is I know that my team gets called to do projects like I mean, every single one of them, they are all honest with me. Every single one of them are honest with me. Most of the time, I mean, I'm talking about people that are very junior in the career. They'll come up to me and say, hey, I've got this project. Someone wants me to design this website on the weekend. I'm going to start working on it. I'm only going to do it nights and blah, blah, blah. And 99.9% of the time I said, great.
Go for it.
Go for it. I'm glad to hear it. It sounds like a great project. Let me know how it goes. But that's the problem, because you heard early on, there was all this stuff on all these boards, chat boards about people working 2 jobs at one, literally taking double income. I mean, I very specifically know who some of these people. There was someone that I hired as a consultant, and I didn't realize it. But they had a full-time job. And the dollars were massive. I mean, they were very, very highly compensated person, very, very highly compensated. And they, I was the one they were consulting for, and they were making a tremendous amount of money from me. So it was these people that were really kind of very much double dipping, and somebody's getting the short end of that stick.
Right. And, and it might not be the employers, but it might be their family. It might be whoever. So yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think that's balanced itself back out, hopefully.
I think so too. Yeah. I absolutely think so too.
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, there were a couple things that I still wanted to talk to you about, and we don't have too much time, but what I really want to talk to you about is one of the things that your company is very passionate about, and that is the fight against skin cancer.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't save that for so late. That was,
I know, maybe we should just do another program.
Well,
we could do that.
We didn't get into the nitty-gritty how the company was founded, but Rob Hoxie, who mentioned in the opening, was my college roommate. So I went corporate and did all this stuff. He did too. He's a marketer and went into marketing. And then when I had this idea, when I was at Purchase Point and I had this idea for a skincare company, I wrote out, a 15-page executive summary, and I tossed it over to my friend Rob. And I said, hey, Rob, he was very fortunate. He just rolled off of a company that sold, and he was cashed out. And I said, you want to take a look at this executive summary that I wrote on, skincare? And he said, sure. And then I said, look, you want to work on this a little bit as a side project to Purchase Point? And he said, sure. And then ended up maturing as some of the story we've heard. His father, and so we were in high school together and in college together. His father died of melanoma when he was in his 50s. And it was brutal. I mean, it was just, it is tragic.
One of the worst ones.
It was so tragic. I mean, I remember to this day, being at the funeral, it was just tragic. So when we started this business, we brought a chemist on right away to formulate and brought him on as a partner. And Rob was like, we need to have SPF in our products. We need to SPF in our products because we have to focus on helping educate a guy on how important it is to protect their skin and to fight against melanoma. And I said, yeah, sure. Like that sounds great to me.
Right.
Little did he know that I started donating through the company, through Tiege Hanley, to Skin Cancer Foundation in New York that month, and we've donated to them every month since, and considerable sums, tens of thousands of dollars. And, and we're accredited by Skin Cancer Foundation in New York as having, fantastic, male skincare products that have SPF. And we talk all the time to our guys about why it's important to take care of your skin. So that's where we're at right now with it. And I think if we calculate how many hours we put our moisturizers that have SPF on our guys' faces, and I would say that, we probably have helped a hell of a lot of guys prevent skin cancer.
Well, and skin cancer is the most common cancer in the world. Yes. And it is one of the easiest things to prevent. It putting on lotion with SPF, folks, that's not difficult. No. And I mean, things like melanoma, that's a little bit different, but something like basal cell carcinoma, I mean, that is really as simple as, cover up.
Yeah. I mean, guys, we're gorillas. We're just not thinking about it. And it's because we don't think that if we live in Chicago, where I live, that's really a serious problem, except in the summer. It's not true.
No, it's worse in the winter because it's reflecting from the clouds.
Exactly. Exactly. And so we're just telling guys, we don't make a sports rated, or beach rated SPF.
It never washes off things.
Yeah, but we just want to tell guys, like, put it on your face every day. No matter you're just going in and out of the office, or if you're going to a construction site or whatever, or playing some golf, it's going to dramatically improve your chances of keeping skin cancer off your body.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, oh my gosh, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about that we didn't get anywhere near, so we just have to have you on again, is what is it like to work with an influencer? I had never heard of Aaron Marino because I'm not his target market, right?
Right.
And of course I looked him up and went, oh, holy schmoly. And so, because I think that is something that, people think about is, can I get someone who maybe isn't, the realm of 6 million followers, but what would that be like? And so, we definitely have to have you on again, because I would love to hear, what it's like to work with somebody who is that influential.
Yeah, just amazing. I mean, it has been, these people on YouTube or, quote unquote influencers, especially the ones that are really, key thought leaders, like Aaron is in the men's grooming and fitness space. First off, it is ferociously difficult. What they do is really hard. I mean, a lot of people look at that, especially younger generation, say, I want to be an influencer. What they're doing is super hard. They're always on, they're always creating content. And, when you have like, I don't know exactly what the number is, over 6 million, but 6,500,000, whatever. You have a lot, you have a lot of, haters and constant.
People are always watching for you to make a mistake.
Oh, it's unbelievable. So Aaron is a phenomenal business partner. And he has a billion some odd video views, a billion video views. So there's almost no time when I am physically with him and we're out in public that he does not get stopped and recognized.
He is a celebrity. I mean, that's,
he is 100%. Like, of course you wouldn't know him because you're not in the market.
I'm not his market.
And I wouldn't know I wouldn't know the people that you've listened to on YouTube or a podcast that has millions and millions and millions of listeners, because I'm not listening to that content. But there's no time that I'm not with Aaron in public that he doesn't get stopped. The airport, restaurants, hotels, he gets stopped by everybody. It's really amazing. And he's a phenomenal business partner. I'd love to share more with you.
I'd love to know more. Maybe we have him on for part of the program. Who knows?
Yeah, he's harder.
I'm sure he's very, very busy.
Yeah, he's hard.
And so, but
he lives near you. You'd have to have him in your office.
That's my spare bedroom. So I don't know about that. But Kelley, this really has been just so much fun. And I want you to tell us, more about your company, about Tiege Hanley, and what are the services that you provide and the products.
It's pretty simple. We're uncomplicated skincare for men. We make skincare systems, and we have very, very good products, which
Mhm.
have been confirmed by, thousands and thousands of positive reviews. And we're just trying to help guys get onto a good skincare routine. So if you're interested in trying our products, come to Tiege.com, check them out, send us your feedback. Like I said, we answer every single customer interaction every day. We have an incredible code. It's Tiege.com / the business power hour. I think our best offer that's available in the wild is on that link. So give us a try, and then please give me feedback. You can find me on Kelley Thornton at LinkedIn. It's Kelley or I don't know what it is. Kelley, Kelley Thornton, THORNTON.
They can find you. Yeah.
You'll find me.
And like you said, you're very active on LinkedIn. So
Very
that's
active,
a good place to find you.
Yeah, find me there and just tell me what you think of our products. And if it's not our products, Kiehl's is another good one. I mentioned them earlier. Just get some SPF, moisturizer with SPF
Protect
on
your
face.
skin, folks.
Yep.
We want you around for a long time.
Get after it.
I love it. Well, Kelley, like I said, we'll have you on again, and this has been so much fun. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave everyone with?
Yeah, I always say we're not here to be average. We're here to kick ass. And I encourage everybody to get up every day, put a smile on your face, say hi to people, be the best steward you can be of the gifts that are given to you. Work really hard, try to make a difference in the world. Anybody's dreams can come true.
I love it. Well, I have been having so much fun talking about men's skincare, right?
Yeah.
With Kelley Thornton of Tiege Hanley. And until next time, everyone have a great day.
Tune in for our next program for even more trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. The Business Power Hour, hosted by Deb Creer, is proud to be part of the C-Suite Network.